Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ATB Wealth Community Spotlight, where we dive into the stories that make our community vibrant and shine a light on the people, organizations making a difference. We're thrilled to have ATB as a sponsor because we can't do this without them. So thank you so much. I'm Rob Cupello, and today I'm joined by Trina Speiser. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Always great to get out in the community and talk about the food bank. Yeah.
Love it. So Trina, you're the Director of Development at the Central Okanagan Food Bank.
Yeah. What does that mean?
I was going to say, so what are you developing?
Yeah, it's resources, revenue. It's trying to keep, events and donations and everything to ensure that the organization is sustainable.
So you do everything. Wear lots of hats.
Well, it's so funny. We're at 34 employees now. Because we're Kelowna and West Kelowna.
Right.
And it's amazing how hard they work to distribute the food directly to the clients. So I do not do everything. Certainly couldn't. And I'm grateful for the whole, for the team. It. Yeah.
So one of the things, literally just before we jumped in, we're talking about that you have a new brand.
We do, yeah. You know what? It was twofold. So it's our 40th anniversary. 40 years of serving the community. We're really proud of that. Yeah. So 1984, October 9th was when we started. Yeah, I don't even know what the numbers were back then, but I'm sure it's changed.
Yeah.
We actually had the same logo as Food Banks Canada. I know, and they had an idea. They had a vision about 9 years ago where they were going to build out a national brand. And that all food banks across Canada were going to adopt that national brand. And we did it. We were enthusiastic about it.
Right.
And so we had the same logo as them, but nobody else, no other food bank did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is fine. And actually, it didn't really matter that much until COVID hit and online went digital.
Right.
Like giving went online.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of brand confusion because people would search food bank. All they saw is the yellow fork and spoon. They would click on it. And so we found out last Christmas that there was quite a few donations that were mistakenly given to Food Banks Canada.
Oh,
but they are our governing body. They're very good about it. So they were actually ones that we could identify and knew. We went to them and they gave us, so it was all fine. But it was like, oh, geez, you know what? We want a new brand. We want our own unique. We want a community. We want recognizable to us and us alone.
So when did the new brand launch? Like how new
it was exactly October 9th. So it was exactly the 40 years after.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So we worked with a local designer here. It took us 9 months because we had a number of stakeholders.
Yeah, I imagine not easy.
Yeah, but we're really proud of it. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. So I would assume most people are familiar with the Central Okanagan Food Bank or they've heard Food Bank, but maybe not familiar to the services you provide to community, like, because I think people just think, well, I just go for food. There's more than that. Like, you guys are quite the operation.
There
right?
is. We're growing for sure, and we always try to recognize what the community needs and address that for sure. I mean, our short-term goal is to feed hungry people.
Sure.
That's what it comes down to. You know, our mid-range goal is probably there's a number of circumstances that bring people to our door. So we try to recognize and triage situational poverty is what we call it, because we're trying to identify why are people coming to the food bank for the first time? What is driving them? And we know statistically our visitations are episodic. They're not chronic. Most come like 4 to 5 times a year.
Okay.
And you can only come once every 28 days. So you have to have a physical address in Kelowna and West Kelowna. Yeah, and you can only come once every 28 days. So, but in that, recognizing, like I said, that situational poverty, we've expanded. We have it's called More Than Food program. And now we're trying to connect resources. We are a food aid organization. That's what we do. That's all we want to do. But we want to help connect our clients that are facing food insecurity with other resources in the community. And so we're teaching food safety skills, we're teaching cooking classes. This year we have a stress management class where we're partnering with some other agencies in town because if you're in a vulnerable place, Christmas is hard.
100%.
Right? Because it's expensive and sometimes you're isolated, you're away from family and stuff like that. So we're helping, resume writing skills. We had a class where we certified 28 people in food safety skills. So those people could go out immediately and get jobs in restaurants. So it's great. Yeah.
So I think one of the things that surprised me, because I've talked to a few people over the last couple of years from the food bank and had interviews, and one of the things that really surprised me maybe, or checked the way I thought was different, maybe different than I thought. Sorry, was a misunderstanding of the type of client you guys serve, because there's a real stereotype of who uses, or like you said, sometimes things happen in life that you don't have control over.
Yeah,
right?
And I think a lot of people recognize that during COVID, because
right.
it gave an opportunity for our community to say, like, am I okay? Is my family okay? Is my community okay?
Right.
So December 1st, we have our campaign. We kick it off. It's called Set the Holiday Table.
Okay.
And what we do is we share 12 unique stories on why these people came to the food bank. And we have everything. We have an 84-year-old lady that fell victim to a financial scam and lost all of her life savings. She's on fixed income. Right. So, and we have families that have moved here from other provinces, and just finding the cost of living really high. 45% of our clients are dual income working families.
Wow.
So,
well, it's expensive out there.
It's expensive. The number one reason why people visit the food bank is high cost of living. That's what we're finding out. So, we're addressing all different types of needs. Like I said, everyone's path is unique. So it's not who you think it is. And that's why we love having these conversations, because it helps, advocate for the ones that can't. And we love having people in to
and it's okay. That's the other part. I think, get out there. It's okay if you need help, because that's what we're here to help community, support community, and help each other, right?
Everyone, without fail, everyone that comes as a new client, they come and they're so vulnerable, and there's shame attached with their visit. And so our job is to try to minimize that, and try to help them, to give them the resources and support that they need, so that they can provide for themselves and their families. So
interesting. The other side of that was, again, that was an education for me, is that I think a lot of people think how organizations like yourself are funded. And I think it's like there's a big check from the government that comes every year.
No, I wish. My goodness.
No, right? And the work that, maybe you can speak a little bit about the work that you do working with other businesses in the community, and individual donations, and the partners you have. That's really at the core of where the support comes from.
It is at the core. The only time that we've ever got money from the federal government was during COVID, when they released $60 million to food banks Canada, and then it was dispersed. There's 4,430 food banks across Canada, so that was the one and only time. Outside of grants, we do apply for grants.
For sure. For sure.
So, but sometimes we're successful, sometimes we're not. But all the rest comes. We are the sum of the whole. We say this. It takes many, many stakeholders to come. Individual micro donations, corporate EVP programs, which is employee volunteer programs. The granting, the events that we have, third party and proprietary. So we hustle.
I imagine.
We hustle, and we have to, because as people are facing, like, our need from September of last year, it was interesting. I was reviewing some notes after the wildfire. We were serving 6,650 clients a month. We're just over 12,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have to, and every single donation from $5 to $15,000 has the same weight in my heart, because it helps us feed hope.
Interesting. And even logistics wise, I was like thinking about, like, from working with partners, getting food that are like perishable, non-perishable, frozen stuff, like getting into warehouse, that's a whole engine. There's it's crazy, and it's not that easy. It just goes from one place on a shelf and somewhere. Like, the work that goes behind the scenes is
It is. Like, I think food banks started as an emergency stopgap measure. It was for people that reached the end of the money before the end of the month. I actually think the new imperative for food banks going forward will be that, but it'll be about food, equitable food distribution. So 60% of Canada's food goes to waste. 30% of that is fit for consumption, but not fit for sale. So I think our job going forward is going to be to rescue that food and keep it out of the landfill. And we're doing that. We go every single day, but Christmas, we go to 25 local food retailers and we pick up that food. And so 70% of our hampers right now is food from the food rescue program. We have 2 partner farms. They gave us 174,000 pounds of food.
Wow.
Yeah. So between we got 3.3 million pounds of food donated, and through the food rescue program last year, we have sent 600,000 pounds of food through, it's called our NFSS. So we are National Food Subsidy Sharing Hub. Okay. So we share with 32 other food banks in the region. Food, not donations. All the donations stay here. But yeah, we distributed just over 2.2 million pounds of food. So that is food that would have been destined for the landfill. Yeah. So there's a huge environmental impact on that. We're really proud of that. And I think that going forward, even if we lived in this perfectly balanced community where nobody struggled with food insecurity, I think our job would be make sure that food didn't go to waste.
Interesting. Yeah. I would say nonprofits you've already heard, you work hard. You work hard to get, and there's struggles every day like any organization, but I would think that the struggles right now when holiday season right around the corner, there's a need. There's like you said, there's a different need around this pressures this time of the year. So what are some of the challenges you guys are facing like today, right now, when you know that holiday season is coming right around the corner?
You know, it's really numbers. It's servicing the numbers of clients that we need to, and ensuring kind of nobody gets left behind. I wish we could do that all, but with 4,500 households to feed this Christmas, I know that we're trying our best, but I think that's our biggest challenge would be, that equity, making sure everyone gets the same opportunity to make an appointment, because you have to have an appointment to come visit us, right?
So what are some of the programs specific? I know I believe it's Merry Moments.
Yeah.
So there's some programs that maybe we can speak. Maybe let's talk a little about Merry Moments or other programs you think that are running right now that we want to share with the audience.
Yeah, Merry Moments is just over Christmas, of course, just over the holidays. This is only for food bank clients, and it is food bank clients that, yes, they have struggles financially with the holidays because it's just so overwhelming. So we partner thoughtful, generous donors with families in need. Sometimes they're not even families. Sometimes they're seniors or single individuals. And we just partner them up so that we can make the Christmas merry and bright for everyone. So it's pretty special.
One of the things I saw when I was on the website is that there was a shop button. So I clicked on it, and I'm like, this is the coolest idea. And I'm not sure if it was there before, if it's new on the new website, but what a neat idea on an easy way to give.
Yeah, it's kind of what we call our virtual food drive a little bit. We know that people love online shopping, so we thought, why not let them shop for food? So what happens is you can go on our website, you can shop for food, and the value of the food that you bought comes to our organization, and then we place wherever it is needed. So you might buy a box of bananas, and if we need a box of bananas, we will buy that box of bananas, but we might buy a box of oranges too if that's what we need. So it's we love it.
Yeah, it's just I thought it was just it's an easy way to see where your dollars could go and what it can buy as well. So
and you don't have to put on your button pants.
No, exactly. Love it.
You can just put it in your cart and check out, and you can be in your pajamas and enjoying Netflix.
That's hilarious. The other thing I saw was the 2025 calendar, and I'm like, I love cooking, and I'm like, oh, it's a calendar full of recipes. This is so cool. So can you talk a little bit about, I'm curious, like where the recipes come from, and do you work with local chefs, or how do people submit it?
So every year we actually have a fundraiser. It's called Bake the World a Better Place, where we partner with local chefs and artisan bakers, and they help us make pies, and then we sell those pies. So traditionally, we've always done global calendars. Global Network hasn't done it, and they're not able to because they're restructuring. So we thought we had to make some calendars, and all we had everything. We had the recipes, we had the pictures, we had the chefs, everything. So it is beautiful. I love it. I picked up a sample the other day, and I can't wait.
That's awesome. So can people buy them right now then?
They're not printed. No, you can buy them right now, and we will mail them out when we can. But people can come by the food bank starting December 9th. Cool. At either food bank, whether the Kelowna or West Kelowna, and they're by donation. So you can buy a calendar for $5. You know, we've had people buy a calendar for $1,000. Like awesome. It's really
whatever
cool.
You can afford. Some. And there's lots of ways to donate, but is there like, in maybe different times of the year, there's different need, but is the need food, money, volunteer time,
Yeah.
all the above?
You know what? It's all of the above because we, like I said, we are the sum of the whole.
Right.
However, that being said, because of our leverage partnerships, because of the infrastructure that we built out for our food rescue program, cash is king for us. We can do so much with dollars. What we can do with dollars too is we can buy what we need. We can fill the gap, and we know what the gap is. We traditionally don't buy a lot of meat. We commit to a base nutritional value. So we buy the same things all the time. We guarantee those in the hampers outside of our programs, like our snack pack program, our food for thought program. We have to buy food for that. So yeah, we encourage people to give money because we can do a lot with it. Yeah.
And then you know where the need is at that time.
We
too,
do.
right? So,
Yeah.
Is there if you could debunk one common myth about food bank, is there something that we'd want to share today because I know I talked about, I think for me was like I think there's a perception of the type of person that goes to the food bank and it's not right. But is there anything else that we want to kind of debunk today?
Oh, there's so many. How much time do we have?
Well, just keep the roots rolling.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? The biggest thing is that we do not enable. We cannot enable. We are an emergency stopgap measure. So people come to us, they get 5 to 7 days worth of food provision. So they have to do a whole lot else in order to contribute to their food budget. So, you know what, and people don't come to the food bank because it's easy. It's actually really hard. It's hard to come to the food bank. It's hard to swallow that pride. It's hard to come in and admit that you're in a vulnerable situation. So there is no dependency myth. We help people when they can. But the first opportunity people have to not come back to us, they're very proud to do so, and they communicate that with us. Right? We have clients that turn into volunteers that turn into donors, right? So it's just the cycle, and that's the one thing I want to dispel is that there's no shame in it, and we're here to help.
Is there any new programs or services that we should be aware of that are coming up through the holiday season and New Year that you'd want to focus on or showcase?
Well, we took over the Food for Thought program, which is new to the food bank. So we took it over in September of this year, 2024. We go to 41 schools in School District 23. We feed 1,200 kids every week with breakfast and lunches. So it's around 147,000 meals that we distribute through that program. So that's meaningful. We provide them breakfast and lunches depending on what the resources that the school has. But we've also identified food insecure households within the school district. And what we're doing is we're sending home a weekend backpack with a fully prepared meal with recipe card and everything that the family can make together. So and it's nominal. It's $2 a meal for the breakfast or lunch, or one take-home backpack is $30.
That's a great program.
Yeah, and that's why the littlest contribution makes the biggest difference. Because somebody can give me $10, that's 5 meals in the Food for Thought program.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Earlier we were talking about a little bit about your history.
And
you've been involved in sort of the nonprofit sector for a while. So I'm curious. What's your why? What gets you motivated in the morning? What do you love about what you do? Where do you get satisfaction of right now in your role?
It's the hardest I've ever worked, but it's the most rewarding job I've ever had. 10 years ago, it seems like longer, but 10 years ago, I actually joined with a bunch of local impact leaders, and we started an organization called Okanagan Changemakers. And it was meant to foster and incubate social enterprises in the Okanagan. And that was at a time when nobody really knew what a social enterprise was. And I'm really proud that social enterprise now is the new way for nonprofits to remain sustainable on their own. So for me, it's the progress. It's the evolution and it's the advancement in this space. Because we can have huge impact, and we don't need to, grovel for dollars. It can be, it's just this collaborative effort that really brings me joy every day. That's awesome. Yeah,
love it. So if someone's listening and they need help or they want to help, what should they do?
Yeah, so our website,
Okay.
that is where you can get the most resources. You can sign up to be a new client. You can register to become a new volunteer.
Okay.
You can put in, if you're having a third party event, you can put in an event form where we then figure out what we can give you in terms of assets to support the event, whether it's signage or whether you need volunteers or whatever it is. So our website, cofoodbank.com,
Okay.
very easily, but we're also, if you want to come down and you want to tour and you want to check it out, just come down to either side and yeah,
Love it.
yeah, we'll show you around.
Love it.
Yeah.
Anything else that we want to leave the audience with before we sign off?
We have a couple big initiatives for
Yeah.
sure for the new year. We are looking to build out a brand new food bank. We're looking at procuring land and space in West Kelowna. We're very, very happy about that. We think we've kind of underserved that community for a little while, but it's very hard to find space. We're in a rented space right now that is not even permanent. And so we're looking for a temporary home over in West Kelowna, if anyone has anything, so that we can build out our vision for a new one.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, and some agricultural hubs too. I think we've recognized and through discussions and with partners and stuff like that, we are an agriculture hub. We have so much food here with our orchards and farmland and stuff like that. I think that we are moving towards harnessing all of that so that we can feed our community.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, Trina, thank you so much for coming in. I know, like I said, it's not easy work, but it's fulfilling work, hopefully.
It's great, yeah.
And I know, like, I joked earlier, but I know it's, you wear many hats, but I'm sure you still do, but there's a team, right, that really work hard to do this, and that's what makes community.
It is,
right?
yeah. So we have paid staff, of course, we have to, but we have a roster of over 450 volunteers, and they've contributed 34,000 volunteer efforts last year. So yeah, if it's not dollars that you can give, if it's time, come on down.
And if you're interested, like Trina said, go to the website. It's probably the best place to go first, rather than just popping in. Just go to the website, and then from there it'll direct you in sort of where you can help, or if you need help, both sides of it. So and just a little, like you said, every little bit makes a difference. So it doesn't matter if it's $5 or $500. Like, it all helps. So, so thank you. Well, thank you again for coming in. It was good. I really appreciate it. Too. So thank you for tuning into Community Spotlight. Stay connected. We're do this every week to kind of highlight all the different community organizations. And thank you again to ATB Wealth. And if you have any questions or any way you can help, go to the Central Okanagan Food Bank website, and they'd be happy to help you there. So thank you for joining us. Until next time. Thanks, Trina.
Thank you.